That's the problem. Every single team, every single state in America should have a team. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that. Go ahead.
As the contracts start getting bigger and that TV money starts rolling in, it's insane. These numbers are insane, and we're not even talking about the number one player on the team. We're not talking about the quarterback, like you just said, defensive line. We're not talking about the quarterback. We're not talking about the left tackle. We're talking about the defensive line. And yeah, they're important. At football's team sport. Everyone plays their role, but at some point, if you're making $40 million as a defensive lineman, that means that like mid-tier players are making 10, and that is insane money. Insane money.
The problem is, Andrew, the NFL teams are making so much money because there's only so few of them. So this when they were ruled through this antitrust, and the current president of the United States, Donald Trump, was the spearhead. He was the leader in that lawsuit. Okay, so what's happened since then? Okay, now football has gone off the wall. Just you look at the ratings, you look at the attendance, you look at the money the guys are making. Well, because there should be 30 more teams in those 30 states that don't have a team, and then that money needs to get spread out so they can have another 1,500 professional football players, Andrew. So if they have opportunities for 1,500 more football players, well, guess what? All these superstars that are playing in college and getting $1 million contracts to play in college can go play in the NFL. Look, the NCAA is an amateur venue. It's been established and has been it the way it's been for over 100 plus years. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's the problem. We got some idiots running the NCAA that don't know which way's up or which way's down. And we got this mess where they're paying kids millions of dollars in college to play football. And what's a kid on campus going to do with $1 million, Andrew?
They're going to have.
What's he going to do with $1 million?
They're going to have a lot of fun because everything's cheaper on college campuses, so they can do anything they want. But I think that's the first jumping off point is that the NCAA is broken. And we're not talking about an organization that is like run with any type of leadership. The NCAA has been broken for 25 years. The whole pay for play that's now on the books is it's a cascading effect. It's a waterfall. So what was going on in the 80s, there was always money in football, in college sports. It was under the table. Kids were getting paid. Some universities, they did it. Some didn't, some did. As we move forward into the 90s, 2000s, and into the 21st century, now they brought all that above board, and it exacerbated the whole process. So money has flown in to these organizations, to these schools. They don't know what to do with it. The kids don't know what to do with it. It's the Wild West. There's collectives. There's all these NIL strategies that are coming out for all these different colleges. Nobody knows what to do, and nobody knows how to plan for the future because one, they keep changing the playoff every year. It was the BCS, then it was 4 teams. Now it was 8 teams, 16 teams. Who knows? I'm a sports nerd. I love listening to all the podcasts. I'm so confused because I genuinely do not know what the playoff structure looks like. Because last year they had the seedings now it's straight seedings. Last year they were the top 4 conferences got the top 4 seeds. I don't know what's going on. It's 12 teams now. It's going to be 16. Who knows? Where's it going to stop? It's going to turn into 64 teams, and it's going to be this ginormous thing. And you know what? The more money that pours into it, I don't know what's going to happen next. But I think that's the whole point, is that there's no leadership at the top to leave people just like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, the thing is, they themselves don't know. They don't look. You got these guys. We're focused on football here, so we got these groups that own these 32 professional NFL teams. They never wore a jockstrap in their lives. What do they know about football? You understand what I'm saying here? And it's the same thing with the guys running the NCAA. They never wore a jockstrap in their life. It's a non-for-profit, and they're making multi-million-dollar salaries, and they don't even know what they're doing. So the first thing that needs to happen is men and women who know what they're doing need to run these organizations. The NFL themselves, the commissioner's an idiot. I mean, what does he know? He never played football in his life. So this guy's running 32 teams, and here's the problem. Here's the problem. They want to keep making the money, and that's all they care about is the almighty dollar. And whatever it is, like they put this singer out. They put this singer out with the tight end from the Kansas City Chiefs. They put this Taylor Swift out. She's their star. Mm-hmm. She's the NFL star because she has a bunch of stupid girls she brainwashed. And listen, if your daughters are listening to her, you need to wake them up, okay? And I would tell you, she's a loser. She's a liberal loser, and she has no business football. But the NFL, they love her. But how about Tim Tebow? Tim Tebow was the biggest draw ever. He was the hottest athlete, football player to come out of college ever. I mean, you name the guy. Dan Marino was a teammate of mine. Tim Tebow, Dan dwarfed under Tim Tebow coming out of college. But when Dan played in the NFL, it was a different story. He's a star. He's the greatest of all time. But Tim Tebow came out of college, Andrew, hot, man. He was like, wow. He was a superstar. Mm-hmm. You understand? First round pick, the Denver Broncos pulls off this. I'm just making comparables about the NFL. Mm-hmm. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. And what the downfall of the NFL is that rather than holding up Tim Tebow, and look, he was another Doug Flutie type of guy. The guy at the Kansas City Chiefs, the quarterback there. Mm-hmm. He was that type of guy. He was elusive. He had his own style. But you know what? Rather than investing in him, they wanted him to shut up because he was talking about Jesus. He was talking about God. He was a great example. But what the NFL will do, they'll put this I don't want to insult anybody, but they'll put this pig out on a screen with this tight end and make a big deal about him. Do you understand? Because they want people to watch. They want people to watch. And here's the thing. That leads to these crazy television contracts, and that leads to paying these guys $40 million to be a defensive end. Now, what should be, and I hope the President of the United States watches this. His buddy Bannon watched one of our shows earlier on that I did with the USA Citizens Network, and they made some noise. So what needs to happen to get the NIL under control, from my perspective, Andrew, okay, is every state, every governor in every state, every senator in every state, the Congress and the president, we need 30 more NFL teams, okay? And all that big pie that they're making off of television and whatever they're making needs to get spread out, and those 30 teams need to get 45 players, Andrew. Do you understand? 50 players. So that's 1,500 players that these superstars that are playing in college making $1 million, let them go to the NFL. We don't want them in the NCAA. We want the NCAA to be what the NCAA has been and continue, and hopefully will continue to be into future generations because it was never broken.
Yep.
Many men have cherished those experiences at you went to Penn State, I went to Pitt, and I mean, and across the country.
And let's talk about that. Andrew. So how it's transformed, how the money, how the paying the players, how that's transformed. And then, so with your suggestion of adding more NFL teams in, adding more opportunities for kids to continue their career and get paid to do it, because that is the ultimate dream, is to get paid at a professional level to play sports. That's an amazing accomplishment for kids to get. And so you take it. So I think you told me this before. So there is 60 million kids playing youth sports. Out of that number, the fraction is so small, going from youth sports even to high school, then high school to college, college to pros.